But other than that, you're fine.
All right, do y'all hear him now? Okay, yeah. Okay, they're saying you're good now. Okay, my bad.
Okay.
So you said that that gets into the realm of assumptions and everything and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
because you would have to assume that the multiplayer is never an option, or that the local multiplayer has less modes than the online, or vice versa.
so let me get this straight. You'll log in just as much as playtime with an offline game than that same game if it were to be online. And let's say the online community dies fast and it dies within a month, right? You wouldn't
Mhm.
log in more hours because of the online in that one
Uh,
month.
let me give you an anecdotal example, right? Um, my favorite game franchise of all time is Killer Instinct.
Uh-huh.
There is if I played Killer Instinct every day online for the next, I don't know, probably for the rest of this generation, I wouldn't come close to the amount of time that I played in Killer Instinct 2 alone, because I played it so much locally in arcades and on emulators and things like that. Have played it so much locally. There's no comparison. I want to say even Starfox 64. I played a lot of local matches with that more than I ever played any on Command, and I liked Command and I played it a lot. But I no, there's it just depends. It depends on the game, it's on
So
what
you,
scenario you're
you're
in and
you're
what
you're
friends you
listing
have.
games that were on offline systems. Of course, you logged in a lot of offline hours.
But I'm telling you
Where
that
else
even
would you
though
log in
now
your hours? You don't have an online mode to
I
log your
have
hours into.
I have Killer Instinct on Xbox One. It is line, and I'm not going to be able to play as much matches as I ever have on Killer Instinct 2. I'm not. Number one, I don't have the time. Number two, I just don't. I
Well,
don't play it
there
like
you
that. And
go. That's why you just said
there's
yourself you
plenty.
don't have the time. It's not because online versus offline. You just said yourself that you're pretty much too busy as compared to back in the day when you were, in elementary school and you're a little kid and you had no responsibilities. You could just play video games all day. That's a
And I
pretty
also
dumb
said, I
comparison to
also
make.
said, I also said that was anecdotal, right? So it depends on the person's scenario, just like it would for what you're talking about.
No,
There is no way you. Yes,
it
because you can't
doesn't.
play somebody. So you're going to tell me you could play somebody in an
No,
online match faster than you can locally?
yes, I can. Yes,
How? Explain.
I could turn on my PS4, boot up Mortal Kombat, and get online. As to where,
Uh huh.
if I want to play Mortal Kombat with a friend, the closest friend I have to play Mortal Kombat with is in Denton, which is 50 minutes away. So what I would have to get in my car, drive through the 35 on Dallas, go through traffic, and get
Mm-hmm.
somewhere that's like 80 miles up the highway. So yeah,
But isn't
I
that
think
just
sitting at home and turning on my online enabled system would get me in a match faster.
and isn't that just as anecdotal as my scenario with me not playing Killer Instinct as much as I did when I
No,
played it?
it's no, it's not
Why
because
is
you said I played offline games offline a lot. That's exactly what you
okay?
said. I mean, not word for
Okay.
word, but that's what you were, that's what you were saying. And I was like,
Okay, so
yeah.
your scenario is also anecdotal because you don't live next door to somebody that plays that game. So you don't have somebody that's over to play the game with you every day. Whereas there's plenty of people that are in college, that are in high school or whatever, they still play these games and they have somebody right next door to them and they'll log more matches than you will.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by more content. That's what I'm talking about. It depends on your scenario. We're being completely objective here. Let's not throw opinions in.
Okay, let's
I'm
say
talking about exactly what you can get.
okay, let's say a person doesn't even want to use the online. That still doesn't matter. That's still not the point. The whole point is having the option there for people who need it. Notice I said need, not even want. People who need it. For instance, 3D World, I couldn't play that with anybody. I couldn't play that with anybody. They put in multiplayer that a lot of people were not able to experience because some people do not have people to experience that with. They're making a,
And
if you incorporate a multiplayer mode and you only have it online, you're literally saying, "Oh, you don't have anyone to play with locally. I guess you're not going to be able to enjoy that this mode that we put into this game." You think that's okay?
that's a little, I think that that's okay as long as it's okay for other games to be online but not have local multiplayer, because it's the same scenario. You're just twisting it. For games now that don't have system link anymore, for games now that you can't have more than one player play online with you at the same time now, there are ways we can go with
Well,
this. They're
first,
basically the scenario
firstly, oh,
is.
go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you get.
I was about to say, you know, a lot of games these days actually do have the option to have at least, you know, two people on the same console go online. But also, if you have gamer friends, chances are they're going to have the system in the game like as well. So you're going to be able to play it with them anyways. And the best part is that you guys won't have to waste gas going to each other's houses 30 minutes plus away when you could just both sit at your respective houses and link up through the online, through the internet.
But what if they don't? What if you have friends that live next door to you? What if you have friends that have an Xbox One but don't have Xbox Live and you do? What if you have friends that live next door to you and they have
And you know what? That's
both and you need two Xboxes to play this game together? But that's a real scenario,
bro,
is it not?
That you're
not bro, because I'm not.
Listen. You're talking about a really small minority of people. I can't even think of the last time I heard somebody trying to do LAN parties. This is 2015, dude.
That's anecdotal evidence. You want to talk about 2015? Yes, it's 2015 in the United States. The country has the worst amount of bandwidth in the entire world.
I'm sorry, but using that word isn't a get out of jail for free card. You can't just keep throwing that word out there. Anecdotal. You can't just keep throwing that out there, and it's just a fix-all word. It's not a magic word.
In your opinion, that you're really putting your opinion, you don't have a number to it, do you?
It's not an opinion.
It's not an opinion to give me the number.
An opinion. Me saying that online opens up the ability for somebody to log in more hours than they normally would is not an opinion.
You said factually that's not a problem anymore because there are very few people doing that. What evidence do you have to support that numerically? Other than your opinion, because otherwise it's anecdotal. Please tell me.
Okay, how about the fact that, you know, the majority of all consoles and all people who are subscribed to these services are connected to the internet and have played online multiplayer games?
Okay, and what number is that?
And also the fact that, you know, also statistically speaking,
if these are facts,
listen. Also statistically speaking,
I want to listen to
the majority of gamers are adults. And
the majority of gamers are adults. Okay? Yes. So what numbers are that?
Do you really want me to go get those numbers? That's something that's something you should know is true.
Yes, I know. Okay. I'm not gonna assume it.
Okay,
I want you to prove it to me.
Let me get it then.
Yeah, get it. For every platform, and also I want to know exactly how many people are playing online, and then I want to compare that number to how many people actually have internet in the States. Because you said it's very few
2015
in comparison. So that means you have a number of everybody that's connected in the United States and everybody has a console in the United States. And you have that percentage. Because that's the only way your statement can be factual.
I'm about to get the numbers.
I'm saying, tell me what I'm saying is wrong.
The average age of gamers is 31.
According to what? According to what?
According to this the 2014 global gaming stats that I'm looking at right now.
Global gaming stats.
The Big Fish video game stats database. The average age of gamers is 51, and only 29% of gamers are under the age of 18, which means the majority of the gamers are over the age of 18, which means you're wrong.
Who is Big Fish Video Games?
It's not. I didn't say Big Fish Video Games. Let me get you the link.
I need to know who indexed this.
I'm going to give you you asked for a link. You asked for a link. I'm getting you the links.
I want a link.
There you go.
If they're legitimate, if they're actually doing a census.
There you go. 29% of gamers are under the age of 18. 29. That means that 71 are above the age of 18, aka adults, like I was saying. Most
According
adults
to
do not
who?
have their best friends from elementary school still living next to them because they've separated, they went on to college, some of them have moved. And then even if they do live in the same city, people are
They
married
went
now,
to
so people
college.
have
They have people
jobs.
living next door to them. If they went to college, they have people living next door to them.
You,
Sometimes in the same.
are you reading the article?
No. What
Why
article?
not?
What's the
I linked it to you.
what's the source? It's
Just
still
I just linked it to you. You're asking me for the source when I just linked it to you. You have everything you need right
you put
there.
it in you put it in the Hangouts.
I gave you what you asked for, and now you're not happy that I gave you what you asked for.
Oh no, it's there. Bigfishgames.com. I don't know who these people are. Okay. 2014 global gaming stats. Big Fish video game sales stats database. I hear you, but I mean, it's still the thing that you tried to allude to is also incorrect. But we'll go into that too.
What, that mostly adults play video games?
Sources, ES industry facts. No, what you tried to allude to, that adults automatically they don't have people next door to them and all the other kind of shit that you tried to allude to, because that's not in this article, and there's not a fact.
I didn't say automatically. I was saying that it's highly likely that they don't.
Oh, highly likely. So we're gonna use
I never used the word absolutely like that you claimed I did. I mean, not absolutely automatically like you claimed I did. And here's another link for you, pretty much confirming the same thing, just in case that one link isn't good enough for you.
No, multiple links usually say the same bad shit.
This one's from
a lot of videos
this one's from
out.
this year, and it says 37.33% of gamers are 26 to 34 years old, which is the highest percentage right here in this survey.
I've got one that says 29% of gamers are over 50 years old, and that's from 2011.
Okay.
So I don't know what justification that is. I don't know exactly what that means, but
that doesn't really like nullify my fact that I said when most adults play video games. So
yeah,
can you agree that mostly adults play video games?
Yes. So where are you going?
Okay. So now that we got that out the way, can you agree? Can you agree that if a developer is able,
even though most kids are on the internet, but go ahead.
Listen. Can you agree that if a developer is able, which Nintendo definitely is, they have the money and the resources and all that stuff, whatever. If a developer is able, shouldn't they cater to the adult life?
Cater to adults?
Yes.
Yeah, they do. That's why they labeled games kids.
Now, wouldn't online multiplayer be catering to adults?
No, why would it? Explain.
Jesus Christ.
No, link online multiplayer to specifically to adults. Because let's not go with opinion here.
It's not opinion.
Why isn't it opinion?
It's not opinion. Because look, back in the day when we were kids, we had all of our little buddies in the same neighborhood because we went to the same school district and all that stuff. We were able to walk down a couple of houses and play games. It's not like that when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you move away from the majority of your friends. That is not something that I should have to link you to. That is a fact of life. Are you still Are you still right next to your childhood friends?
That is a fact of life, depending on where you live, also, because people in rural areas, obviously, they're not leaving their hometown. A lot of them don't, and a lot of them do live next door to their neighbors and things like that. Then you have the college situation that I also spoke about, when most people are 21 years of age before they graduate from there. So that means from the age of 18 to 21, you're still living next door to somebody, or somebody's in the same room as you.
And then what happens when summer kicks in and then your roommate and you have to split for the summer?
Sometimes they don't split for the summer, especially if you live in an apartment together instead of a dorm.
Okay, sometimes.
Hey, there's 1,000 different scenarios. There's not just the one that you're painting.
What if they do?
What if they live together, or if they go back home?
See, here's the thing you're not understanding. This works.
What am I not understanding?
This works for me either way, because I'm talking about developers being inclusive. You're talking
Inclusive
about
to what?
no. See, you're talking about they shouldn't have to do this because some people are like this. That that's
So
not
are
what
developers not being inclusive by adding local multiplayer?
that's inclusive to
They're
only
talking
one.
about developers being inclusive.
That's inclusive to only one audience of people. Is the point?
No, it's
That's
inclusive to everybody that owns that platform or knows somebody that has it. Is it not?
there is 9 million Wii U's out
Uh,
there.
Say I'm wrong.
You're wrong because there's 9 million Wii
Why am I
U's
wrong?
out there.
I mean, we use out, which means what?
Do you know how many people there are in the world? So how many people do you
Yes,
think
way
actually
more
have
than the people on the
access
internet.
to who? How many people do you think actually have access to Super Mario Bros. 3D World when there's only 2 Wii U units sold out there and five
How many
copies
people do you
of
think?
3D World?
How, how many people do you think there are in the United States right now that own an eighth generation platform? Period.
Thinking about
Way
the
less than
sales,
50.
maybe like 35 million
Let,
altogether.
less than 50, right? How many
Yeah,
people are there in the United States?
a buttload more than that.
Yeah, a buttload more than that, right?
Yeah.
So, how many are you going to tell me right now that in rural areas the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and the Wii U aren't sold?
They are, yes.
Okay, they are. So, in a lot of those rural areas, they either have no internet or very limited internet. Is that not?
What kind of rural are you talking about?
I'm
Like
talking the only thing is HughesNet. I'm talking if they have that.
the poorest people be gaming online nowadays, dude. It's
We're not talking. We're
2015.
not talking poor. We're the
I mean, I
boonies. They
assume
have
that's
a
I assume
farm.
that's what you're talking about. Yeah, you sounded like you're talking about people in poor areas or like
I'm
poor
talking.
rural
No, I'm not talking
neighborhoods or
about poor
whatever.
areas either. I'm talking about people that have money. I'm talking about municipalities like Iowa. I'm talking about Colorado. I'm talking about all kinds of different towns, Wyoming and whatnot, that just have vast amounts of farm area, but they still own a home console.
Okay.
So, what are we doing with non-internet households but on a console? Are we being
So
inclusive to them because the only form of multiplayer they have is online that they
see,
can't use?
no, see, look, here's your problem. You think I'm
No, don't
saying
tell me to look.
no?
Did you hear what I just said?
Listen. I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer your question. Here's the problem. You're thinking I'm saying that, I choose online over local. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying have both. That's what I meant by you saying, it has local, so it's fine. That's what I meant by that's only being inclusive to one audience. Because not everybody has access to local, because not everybody has access to the people they want to play with
Okay.
locally.
Now that
If
we're
you have
clarifying,
online and local, you're good, because you have both
okay.
options.
Well, now that we're clarifying what each other is saying, let me tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying, are you done laughing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you done?
Yeah.
You were saying to begin with. But I'm also saying that other games that are out there and other platforms that are out there that don't necessarily focus on that too much probably should. And they don't. It should be both local multiplayer and online multiplayer, and also
Definitely.
split screen and also system link. All of those should be there. Why? Because they all fit different scenarios where everybody should be able to play.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really change the game that much. It just allows more
It
people to
doesn't
play,
change the core of the game, but it changes how much you can enjoy the game.
depending on your scenario, which is
Which is
completely
why they
anecdotal,
need to be inclusive and start incorporating more online multiplayer into their games.
which is not just an effect of local multiplayer not having online, but online not having local multiplayer, or all these games not having system.
I'm not really debating about that. I'm not that stuff is great. I agree with you. Local is great. I would love to have like system link and split screen in every game.
Yes,
That's
but
not the
your
point.
complaint is only about one.
The,
We need to solve all of them.
this all started when you asked me like, what do you mean by somebody in the if it was you, somebody in the chat had asked me, what do you mean by potential? And I was like, Starfox could be at reach its maximum potential, whatever, if it had online. Because why not?
Of replay
Again,
value is what you're
replay
saying, right?
value, yes. It extends the amount of people you could play it with. and there'll be updates. Maybe there'll be like special missions, stuff like that. DLC, that's all extra stuff. But base value, even if it's just bare bones and it doesn't get DLC and updates and stuff like that, for sure it does mean replay value, and it does mean more content in the form of you get different people to play. That can also be content.
Now, let's be fair. Has this franchise ever been one that was skimp on replay value anyway? It was a 15-minute game that you somehow played for several hours.
No, it hasn't, but that's not the point.
Then what is the point?
The point is what I've been saying this whole time. Like, this all comes with the whole adult thing. Just incorporate online so you accommodate to everybody. And like I was also saying in the comments,
necessarily accommodating to adults either.
And like I was saying in the comment section, there isn't that many like online Nintendo games on the Wii U. So when you have a franchise that would actually be a good fit for it, you need to take that goddamn opportunity. Because literally all we have from Nintendo on the Wii U online is Smash, Mario Kart, and I can't even think of another one.
Call of Duty.
No, I said from Nintendo.
Oh, from Nintendo?
Yeah,
it's Nintendo's whatever stuff. But Nintendo never really did that anyway. Even when they had more online on the Wii, there were more third parties putting stuff out than they were. So that's clearly not their focus. I guess it will be once they finish this deal with DNA or whatever.
Yeah, the point is that it should be the focus, though.
According to who, though?
According to,
because we just had a scenario where we was talking about everybody.
According to modern game standards.
Whoa! Modern game standards?
Yes.
Who establishes? Is there IEEE or something I don't know about?
There is no one person that establishes this. It's a natural progression in the industry. That's like saying, listen. That's like saying
is established by an organization. You're talking about a group of opinions of people.
Okay, it was established by Sony, Microsoft, and the PC. There you go.
Then that's not a standard.
Anyways, that's like you saying online is not a standard. It's like saying HD graphics is not a standard.
HD graphics isn't a standard.
It's
WXGA is the standard. Do you not know what WXGA
is? What is that? What is that?
That is the established before 1080p was.
Okay, are we using
1080p isn't even a real HD standard because nobody could realize what HD was.
It's the standard console gaming is at right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, according to who?
According to all these PS4 games
Digital Foundry
come out in 1080p.
And are they completely rendered in 1080p, or is that just what you're getting?
A lot of them are, yes. Yeah.
No, not really. And not all of their textures are rendered above 512 by 512.
Let me get a link.
Yeah, well, you can get a link. But half of these links are going to go to news sites that have no idea about the tech they look at anyway. What? News sites know about tech?
No, I'm saying I'm not about to link you to a news site. What the fuck is that?
And I'll go ahead and tell you now, you might as well establish Digital Foundry as a news site. Might as well.
I'm not going to Digital Foundry.
Yeah, please don't. The only thing your best bet is an official white paper from a developer that told you what they developed internally while they were making the game with their own API. What's on the back of a box is not accurate.
Where the hell is this link?
The best link you can give me is from a capture card.
Yo, anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat got that link to the Beyond forums?
Beyond 3D. Oh, those guys. somebody created a list of all the resolutions supposedly in there too. One of those guys there and created his own little standard, and has eventually become one of the founders of Digital Foundry.
Okay.
Long story. Yeah, it's not my first time around.
But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, I don't know, I'm still looking for the link, but Beyond, you could look at the Beyond PS4 resolution list, and most of the games are actually 1080p. So I would say that would make it a standard, especially considering that's usually what developers are aiming for.
That's what they.
And a lot of these newest games coming out are going to be 1080p, 30 frames per second, but they're going to be 1080p.
That's what they say they're aiming for. Now, do you know what dynamic resolution is?
Oh, what's that?
Are you aware of how that works?
Explain.
Okay. What it is a frame buffer switching method, and what it does is in high intense scenes, it interleaves the resolution every other frame. A game that does it quite frequently is Tekken Tag Tournament 2. So you'll end up going from 1280 by 720 to well below 540p every other frame when there's a lot of stuff going on in the back. When do you not know that's happening in every game on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS3, or even Wii U? Even though Wii U actually supports VSync, so you would probably catch that. But so the question is,
that's something you can actually detect and catch with equipment, which these guys use.
What type of equipment and who wrote it is the question. Because what happens is that, I'll put it this way, a lot of people that try to detect frame rates, they detect frame rates coming out the other end of the device and not what was interpreted for the actual screen. So instead of them doing proper frame rating like they should be doing, they're just doing basically what Fraps is doing. So no, it can't be detected if it isn't done on the end that it's supposed to be detected in going towards the screen, because the display on the, well, how can I say this? The conversion tool or the HANA chip, like the HANA chip did in the Xbox 3, it used to upscale stuff to TI and whatnot. That's not done until on its way to the TV.
You know, all that is like great and all. You seem pretty knowledgeable, but what does this have to do with your statement that 1080p? I mean, not 1080p. HD isn't the standard.
That was debunked. That everything was 1080p. We don't know if it's 1080p until everybody.
I didn't say everything is 1080p. I said all these PS4 games, like a lot of these PS4 games, are 1080p. I was just saying that.
We don't know.
And my initial statement was HD is the standard, and you said it was not.
No, it isn't the standard because of the reason that I just suggested. We don't know if all those games are 1080p.
You realize you don't have to be 1080p to be HD.
Yes, I know that. And I
720p is an HD resolution.
You don't even have to be 720p to be HD, actually, because apparently all last generation, we had a lot of games, they were considered HD. So a lot of people could suggest that the standard was HD.
You're talking about sub HD games?
I'm talking the vast majority of 7th generation.
Okay, that's nice, but this generation,
yeah, that's real nice.
This generation that we're currently living in, you know,
every game is,
most PS4 games are 1080p. Most like Xbox One games are like 900, and most Wii U games are like 720.
Well, we can't say most games are 1080p. Remember, we don't know.
Okay. Let's say that. Let's say that Bush did 9/11. Okay. The games this generation. The games this generation are HD, are they not? Are we not playing HD games?
The vast majority of them are reaching 1 million pixels per frame.
Are we not at least playing 720p in all these games this gen?
That's over 1 million pixels per frame, yes.
So wouldn't that mean that HD is the standard, considering all games this gen are running in HD?
Did you say HD was a standard? Or did you say 1080p
I
was a
said
standard?
HD. I said HD was a standard. I just used the PS4's 1080p as just a stronger
Okay,
point to
we
help that.
we can go back and listen again, but
We can, because my
I
very
remember
first
you
statement
saying
was
1080p.
HD is the standard. Because I remember because I said you saying online is not a standard is like saying HD is not the standard. That was my exact words. And then you said it's not the standard, and then that's how we got here.
Well, HD is a standard set for TVs anyway. It's not a video game standard. Video games don't set standards.
How is
The
it not the current
IEEE does.
standard?
Video games don't set
No,
standards.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying. No, no, no. You're getting into something else. I'm not saying that the TV companies or whatever they move to the beat of the console. That's not what I'm saying. All I said was HD is a standard for console gaming. That's what I said. You said it's not.
I'm saying that it isn't. No.
But you just
And
agreed that every game today is running in HD.
every game today is running at over 1,000 pixels would be considered as HD. But HD is considered a very specific resolution or higher. And a lot of these games are running in very mixed modes. Not necessarily exactly 1280 by 720 or vice versa.
So can you show me some games that are running in a lower resolution than 1280 by 720?
Lower doesn't mean it equals that. Higher doesn't mean that it equals
Okay,
that.
can you show
Exactly
me
that,
any
that equals
current day sub HD games or non-true HD, whatever Illuminati stuff you're talking about? Can you show me one?
Illuminati.
Can you show me
Do
one?
you want me to be extremely literal?
Go ahead.
Any game on off TV play on Vita or Wii U.
That's not what the game natively runs in. Did you really just try to use
It
off
does.
TV play as an argument,
Hey, I
sir?
said, do you want me to be extremely literal?
Sir,
I asked you a
sir.
question. You said yes,
I told you to be literal. I didn't tell you to
and
be
I did.
foolish. Okay, it's two
No,
different things.
that's
Come
literal.
on, dude. Come on, dude.
That's literal.
I can't
That's
believe, yo, Monkey D. Luffy, Mr. Fantastic ain't got nothing on you, my man. That was incredible.
you
That
know
was
what?
incredible.
You asked the question. I gave you an answer. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be sensible, but hey.
Wait, if it's not
Anyway,
sensible, then it doesn't need to be said. But yeah, moving on.
you just came up with a bunch of your little quip. I don't know what all that was. You bunched a whole bunch of sound like Willy Wonka on the Chocolate Factory, but so anyway, so the established standards that video games do not adhere to would be the full 1920 by not the true 1280 by 720. That would be on the frame buffer every frame. Or it would be analog half the frame, and it would be the exact amount of half frames that it would be if it was not progressive. Video games don't do it. Like even if you 60 frame per second game, it wouldn't come out at anything close to 60 frames per second. It'd be more like 54 or 59 because the NSTC standard is a little bit below 60. So even when they say we're achieving 1080p 60 is not going to be that.
Okay.
Why? I don't know. There's some kind of electrical standards that I guess these consoles have to adhere to, so they can't really do it the way that they need to. I'm sorry, but I don't trust anybody's word until I look into it my damn self.
So you don't believe any game on the Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, like you don't believe like any of that stuff is at the very least bare minimum 1280 by 720.
I believe there are quite a few games that fit the exact 720p standard. I believe there are quite a few games that aim for the 1920 by 1080p standard, but they aren't exactly that. And I want to say a lot of them, even if they do, they struggle. So as far as the best bet is probably them going for 24 frames per second. Then that would be actually accurate. That would match.
Well, why are we talking about frame rate?
Because that's what the TV standard would be.
I'm just saying we're
You,
talking
you
about
said
resolution.
standard. That's what started all this. You said standard.
We're talking about we're talking about online standard, then resolution standards. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A resolution standard means it has to adhere to what the existing standards were before they. That's what a standard is, right?
Okay. Games today are HD games. HD is a standard for consoles, right? Can we just like clear that up?
No, because consoles don't have standard.
Okay, okay. Well, you guys heard it. HD is not a standard for the modern consoles. But going back to going back to Starfox and online, I want to go back to my question that you never really answered back in the comment because I really want to hear your answer to this. All right, let's say okay, let's just do Starfox. Starfox Zero. Let's say in this dimension we're going to get the current Starfox Zero and Zero that we know right now.
A hypothetical scenario that we're about to paint.
Because people don't bring
what
up
reason?
hypotheticals and discussions.
For what purpose?
I don't see why you could do that in a courtroom and you can't do that in a silly debate between two nerdy ass niggas. But anyways, let's say we get the Starfox with no online, right? And then in an alternate dimension that's almost exactly like this one, they get a Starfox that does have online. Which Starfox game would be the better game?
I don't get what you're saying.
I'm saying we have two different versions of Starfox. At the core, they're exactly the same game. The only difference is one has the online with the offline multiplayer, and the other one only has the offline. Which one would be better?
They're exactly the same otherwise, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Just the only difference is one has the online with the offline multiplayer, and one only has offline. That's the only difference. Which one is the better game?
They're both objectively the same game, so they're both objectively the same.
Which one's the better game? Which one is the better deal? Which one is the better value? Which one would you be more inclined to buy?
That would depend. That would depend on where I have more opportunity to play offline, and online doesn't matter to me. If I was in a scenario where, say, I don't know, maybe I have shitty internet, or maybe, hey, Nintendo servers are jacked up and they just don't work. With a lot of people complaining about a couple of games they released that they weren't too good with that. So you're actually better off playing offline. So it would depend on those type of scenarios.
Which one would you buy?
Let's add all the hypotheticals.
Which one would you buy?
Hypothetically, I would buy the offline one. Hypothetically, I will buy the online one for all the other hypothetical scenarios that I just gave you.
Yeah, so you choose both. So you're completely dodging the question entirely. I told you which one.
Why would I dodge the question? You're giving a hypothetical.
I asked you which one would you choose.
Answer.
I asked you which
you
one.
Want
you
my
said
opinion
both.
For a hypothetical situation.
No, listen. You can't say both to a which one question.
So there's rules for hypotheticals.
It's not a rule for hypotheticals. It's a rule of it's syntax. It's grammar, dude. It's proper like English structure. You don't say both when somebody asks you a which question. You don't do that. If I say which pen do you want, the red one and the blue one, you don't say both. I ask you which one.
Now, why are you asking me that for a hypothetical question?
I'm asking you which one would you buy because I'm trying to get you to because the dodging you're doing right now. The dodging you're doing right now is exactly what I wanted you to do.
No, there's not dodging. You're
seeing my point exactly. You're just saying both to try to avoid me making my point.
Because what I said was actually true.
No.
Because if I'm in a hypothetical scenario and I go for the online game and I find out hypothetically in one scenario the online is shit, guess what? The offline one is great. There's no point in me getting the one that has the online also.
Okay, but
that's the waste of time.
See, you're not paying attention at this point. You're not. I said the online one. Listen. I said the online one also has the offline multiplayer. It has both.
Exactly. So I'm not having any more fun playing the one with online than I am with the one offline. They're both the same in that hypothetical scenario if the internet is shit.
Which one would you rather Nintendo make?
one would I rather Nintendo make?
Yes. Would you rather Nintendo have a Star Fox with online and offline, or just offline?
In both hypothetical situations, I would rather them have, and I would rather them not have the online. Still don't get it yet, do
You
you?
know, I have to give you props. You you
Why do
are
you have to give me props?
you are a better like sidestep dancer than Black Bond.
No, Black Bond is afraid
Like
of me.
you are impeccably good. I applaud you,
Black Bond
sir.
is afraid of me.
This is incredible. This is
Black
very
Bond is afraid
incredible.
of me. So is what's that dude name? The Predator.
Zaire.
They've been dodging me for years now. You can come on, I don't care, but they've been dodging me for years. So
So you're
the
just gonna
hypothetical
you're just
scenario
gonna
that you
keep
gave me,
you're
that
just
you
gonna
tried to
keep
lead
saying
me
you're just gonna
into,
keep saying both.
yes, because it's a logical fallacy from the beginning
It's
anyway.
not
It
a
doesn't
logical
exist.
fallacy.
Why isn't it? You're leading me
A
into
point
a scenario
a,
that can only have one outcome.
a point doesn't become
The one that you
illegitimate
want.
just because it's being made by a hypothetical.
I'm sorry, Shokio. I'm going to take you down here and cut your head off. How off? From the top or from the bottom?
What?
In this hypothetical scenario, you heard it. Answer it. From the top or from?
You're cutting up.
I am going to take you to the bottom of a hill, Shokio, and cut your head off. Would you like me to cut it from the bottom or from the top? That's your hypothetical scenario. Is there really a win?
You couldn't cut it from the bottom. What are you talking about?
Yes, you can. It's called swinging from the bottom.
Oh, that's what you mean. I'd rather you swing from the top because I don't want like my balls to get chopped up. But that's a very weird example.
Yes, it's
But
weird,
yeah, I
bad.
choose
Anyway,
I choose top.
not possible. So, but it's a hypothetical
What's your
scenario
point?
that leads to nothing. That's called leading. That's a logical
No, it
fallacy.
led to an answer. No, see, notice how I actually gave you an answer. I said the top.
That's me asking you, how long have you been gay? That's what that is.
Okay.
And you know not to answer that question, right? Obviously.
I did. What, you said the hill thing was a gay thing? What?
No, I said that's the same as me asking you, how long have you been gay?
And I was
There is no answer to that if you're smart.
I'm not gay. There is an
That
answer. There
would
is
be-
an answer to that. Are you serious,
Really?
dude?
So, but that question isn't leading?
No. It's
So
not.
that's not a leading
If
question.
you just said there's no answer to the question, how long have you been gay? If you ask a straight male how long has he
There
been
was-
gay,
there was
he
no-
could
there
tell
was
you
no
he
answer.
could tell you 0 seconds. And that's a legitimate answer.
No. But I'm gonna do the same thing you just did with your hypothetical situation. There is no other way to answer it other than answer the question of how long. Give me a time frame.
You don't have
Because
to
that's
answer.
exactly
You don't have to answer as
no.
long.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Because you're establishing, you saying I can't develop another hypothetical situation.
No, I didn't say you
choose
can't.
yes or
No, that's not what I
You
said.
said I couldn't do it. You said I had to
didn't
choose
know.
what I wanted out of the
I
scenario that
didn't. I didn't say you couldn't choose a hypothetical. I said you had to choose the options that I gave.
I just gave you two options.
You
can
only
give
choose-
me a time frame of
if-
how long you've been.
Okay, do you know what the word witch means? WHICH.
No. Why don't you go ahead and tell me? I'm pretty sure I heard it in Webster some time ago, but go ahead.
Which means one
Or Oxford.
or the other.
Yes, which means that
So you
still leading because you're giving a scenario where you're choosing over two predetermined outcomes that you want anyway, not the other person.
so
You
don't.
can't tell me you haven't heard of this logical fallacy before. Have you ever been in a literary class?
What do you mean? One of them is an outcome you don't want. You don't want Starfox. You don't want the Starfox that they just announced today. Excuse me.
That isn't what you're asking.
That is what I asked. I said we have one version, which is what we have today, and then I said we have another one that's the same thing except it just has online. So one of the options was actually a real thing that we currently have, and you still didn't choose that. Hello?
I'm still here. What?
So What's going on that? You're
You
making it
gave a
seem like I
hypothetical.
gave you two fake hypotheticals. No, only one of the actual options was a hypothetical and a realistic one that's not like some bullshitty dream, whatever. All it was the same option as the real one, just with online added. That's it. So I don't see what's so
So
hard about just choosing between those two, and why you're trying to play semantics and dance all around these bushes and stuff.
I shouldn't have to choose between those two if the entire scenario doesn't exist and it's not real. Choose whatever answer I want. Just like you should be able to say I'm not gay instead of saying what time you were gay.
Okay, so why don't you want to choose?
Why don't you want to say what time you were gay?
There was never a time.
Exactly. There was never a scenario for me to have to choose between online and off. That doesn't exist.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Exactly.
That's not the point. I'm trying to convey to you difference in value.
Then you're doing it wrong. What you're trying to do is you're trying to convey with your opinion what you establish value with online. Online.
What am I saying that is opinionated?
I'm telling you what you're trying to do. You just haven't done it yet.
What am I saying? Right. What am I saying that is opinionated?
You're saying, number one, that the online is going to provide more value. You're saying that it's automatically going to give you more replay value and all these other things, which come with a whole host of different scenarios that have to happen to make that true. Which we all assume as gamers. We all have all those assumptions natively.
So can I just get you on? Can I get you?
That is a failed thought process we all have.
Can I get you on paper here, as a quote, saying, online?
Go ahead and quote me out of context.
No, I'm asking you if this is.
If you're gonna quote me, you need to quote everything.
I'm asking you what your quote is.
Oh, don't get mad. That's okay.
You're not listening. Chill. I'm asking you.
Oh, I'm listening.
I could get you on paper right now that you just said that it is an opinion that online adds value to a game.
Yes, because value is perceived an opinion anyway.
Okay. So you guys heard it.
So
online giving value is an opinion. You guys heard it from him. He just confirmed that's what he said.
Did you also quote the entire chat also? Make sure you quote all of that so it's in context.
What are you talking about?
Context? You don't know what context is?
No, I know what context is. I'm talking about what are you talking about, the other quotes or whatever?
Quote everything that so there is context instead of taking out
this is
choice pieces of dialogue.
This is live stream. Everybody hears what you're saying, dude.
Exactly. So what's the point of even quoting anything out? They can all hear it.
I specifically asked you, are you saying that it's an opinion to say that online adds value? You said yes, it's an opinion.
Told you
there's not really any extra context to go along with it. I just asked you if you said this thing, and you said yes, I said that thing, and that was kind of the end of that.
I told you exactly what I was saying. I was saying, but you're not presenting it right. I know exactly what you want to say. You feel that you get more value by doing this. Or you feel that you will have more value out of a game if this happened. Or you feel that this would be more successful.
Where's this feel coming from? Like,
you gotta have this feel. You haven't provided it properly. Trying to do it, but you're doing it with broken anecdotal evidence.
So having more options
and crazy theories.
So saying having more options is beneficial to a game is an opinion. It's a feeling. It's an assumption. That's what you're telling me.
No, I'm talking about specifically the online and offline thing, not more options. Because if there are more
online
options,
is an option. Online is an option.
It is a form of an option.
You seriously just try to sit there and separate online multiplayer from an option.
Is multiplayer an option?
Yeah.
Okay. Is offline multiplayer an option?
Yeah.
Is online multiplayer an option?
Yes.
Do they not serve the same purpose?
Generally speaking, yes.
Exactly. So they're the same option. There's no division between the two. It's either you have none or it's split. But does it mean that you're missing an option?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And how is that? Are you going to say the game doesn't have multiplayer?
No, I'm saying the game doesn't have online multiplayer.
Which means what? That means the game has more or less options.
It's missing an online option.
So that means that there's a way that you can't play in that game.
Yes, they cannot play.
Okay.
They cannot
Okay.
play via wireless internet connection.
So what game type is missing? How are you playing
Online
differently?
internet gameplay
Okay, so how are you playing the game differently?
with other people you otherwise would not have access to.
How does that make the game different?
It makes the game different because it allows you to enjoy the game in a different way with different people.
Okay, is that a fault of the game or is that the fault of the environment?
Is what the fault? What do you think?
Is what? Is that a fault of the game and the game code, or is that a fault of the environment of the game?
Is the lack of online a fault in the game code? Is that what you're asking?
Is it really? If it's going to be is it a fault if it's going to be in a scenario where there's a bunch of people that's not going to use it?
What do you mean? Is it at fault? Like what?
The same thing that you're talking about. What you're trying to champion is that you like to play online. You don't have access to people that live next door.
No, it's not
you
about. It's not about me. Stop. Don't be focused on me. It's not about me. It's about the world. It's about the large majority of gamers nowadays.
It's not about the world because the world has better internet than us.
Okay, yeah, so they're definitely more inclined to play online video games then. Thanks for helping me prove my point.
No, not necessarily, because a lot of these games that are offline or whatever still sell pretty well. So that's not really a determinant.
Yes, offline games still sell just fine. There's plenty of single player games that sell great. Who said otherwise?
Yeah. Or multiplayer games that aren't online that sell great. So it just depends.
Okay. Can you list the time where I said otherwise, or are we just going to keep bringing up points to arguments that never existed to begin with?
It sounds like it is. It sounds like
like it really is. I've been saying the same thing. Go ahead.
It sounds to me like you're saying that a game is ultimately worse with or without dead modes. And those modes are really the same thing. They're just aimed at different audiences.
No. That's it's not just that. The different modes. The different modes are different capabilities. Do you understand that?
No, I don't understand that. Elaborate.
Okay, so you don't understand how an online multiplayer is a capability. You don't understand that.
What capability is it?
It gives you the capability to play with people across the world and wirelessly. That's not a capability.
How is that a capability? How exactly is that implemented?
How old are you?
Why does that matter?
I'm just curious. I'm not going to make a point of this. I'm just asking.
More than likely, let's put it that way. So why are you asking?
You cut out. I didn't hear your answer.
More than likely, I'm older than you. So why are you asking?
Okay, that's incredible. I was just curious.
No. Why are you asking? Why are you curious?
I just wanted to like kind of gauge where.
What if I was younger than you? Then what? If I was younger,
it would depend. It would depend how much younger. But
if I was 5, then
if you're 5, it'd make a lot of sense.
Why would it make a lot of sense?
It would make a lot of sense for you for not to care online because you'd still be in like grade school with all your buddies, in the houses next to you and stuff like that, and you really wouldn't care about online like that. But
you said this was 2015, right?
Let's not get.
You said it was 2015, right? There are kids now that are online more than we are. So what are you talking about? Say that again.
You asked me, how is that a capability? And I said online
exactly how is it
gives you the capability to play with people on the internet wirelessly across the world.
But how is it a capability? Explain. What is happening?
You're asking me a question I just answered.
No, you didn't answer it. Explain exactly how it happens.
Okay. Through your internet connection, your console sends code and data to another player's internet and console.
What type of code? The type of code and data.
What type of what do you say, man? What do
You're
you say?
laughing. I mean, this sounds
What do
elementary.
you say?
Go ahead and elaborate. Go ahead and elaborate. I want to hear what type of code and data.
Game code,
What kind of game
online
code?
code,
Is it binary? What type of
packets,
code are we talking
latency,
about? No, they're packets because it's going over the internet. But what type of code?
net code, game code.
Okay.
What
What
do you
type
want?
of net code? I want you to elaborate. You said it's a completely different.
Is this
different capabilities.
is this actually going somewhere, or are you just like playing
Yes,
ring
it
around the
is.
rosy?
They're different capabilities. I want to know what they are.
I just explained to you that it's data that actually leaves the system and travels to another.
Hmm.
That's not something an offline game does. The data stays there on the system, and you don't have any interactions with anyone outside of that physical system that you're sitting next to.
Actually, it does. It does leave. It leaves serially, and it's still a connection. It works the exact same way it does over the wires. Hey, man, just saying. In case you didn't know,
Okay, so when I plug in my N64 and I play Mario Kart 64, it's sending data to another 64. Yeah, okay, yeah.
there's serial
that's
input
great.
going from the
That's
controller
great.
to the
Yeah.
system and back out.
So that you pretty
Yes.
much did exactly what I figured you were trying to do. You're just trying to play semantics into a very
No, I wanted.
dead
Actually,
end
I was
point
hoping
that
that you
means
actually knew
absolutely
what the frame
nothing.
relay code was
That
going
means
over the internet.
absolutely nothing.
No, I was hoping you actually knew what the frame relay data was going back and forth on
Your
the
point
online
means
connection
nothing.
calculation.
It literally means
What do
nothing.
you mean my point means nothing?
You think saying these big
You don't even
words
understand this. How
and
do you
saying all
lose?
this technical stuff is gonna like auto smart you or something in this discussion? I don't know, but I'm just letting you know,
I
bro.
don't need.
It's not working. It's really not working for you.
What's now? Nah,
Are you trolling me?
no. Are you trolling me?
God damn. No, I'm not.
Are you trolling me?
I'm quite serious.
That's sad. Because you're talking about these capabilities, right? You're talking about the capabilities that you clearly do not understand, but you're championing. So you're talking about frame relay data, about serial data, and how it's emulated to be sent over the internet to be recognized by another device, about as a different capability. When in actuality, it isn't. It's the same capability. It's just done through a different interface. Serial versus Ethernet.
Okay, so when I'm playing the offline,
Yeah. Okay.
when I'm playing the offline game, I'm playing with other people wirelessly.
I'm sorry. What I do? Are you trying to separate exactly what I was talking about? Because Ethernet is wireless Ethernet, so it's still serial.
No. I'm asking you a question. If I'm playing online, if I'm playing offline, am I having the same interactions if I was playing online?
Yes, you're having the same technological interface is happening.
No. So I'm having the same social
Capability.
I'm having the same social interactions offline to myself that I am online with other people. That's what you're saying.
Did I say anything about social?
If you're gaming
When did I
online,
mention
that's social.
If you're playing locally, you're playing socially.
We're talking about playing
Tell me
offline,
it isn't.
we're talking
Tell
about
me it
playing
isn't.
offline in general. And in my example,
Playing-
I said if you're playing a game offline by yourself, you're trying to play these extra hardcore semantics to make it seem like it's the
No,
same
I'm not.
goddamn thing.
You said
You're trying to
offline.
make
You
it
didn't-
you're trying to make it all more complicated than it really is. All this stuff to try to squeeze your way out of it.
No.
Like, it's not working.
No, it's very simple. Offline multiplayer is the same thing as online multiplayer. They're both coded and work the same way. They're the exact same capability. You think it's different because you don't understand it. Used and on your end of it is different. How
Look,
you like to
me
interact
doing
with it. And because way you use it.
Me doing 4-player split screen is not the same thing as me doing 64
Oh,
players
it
online.
is. It is
It's
technically
not the
though.
same.
Yes, it is.
So 4 is the
Yes,
same
it's
number as 64 is what you're telling me.
Are you saying that the system that could play 4 locally could also play 64 online?
Yes.
Are you saying that it's impossible for a system that plays offline that can't connect 64 devices together?
What?
If it can happen online, it can happen faster locally. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why are you trying to compare 64 online versus 4 locally?
Oh my goodness. Because you're trying to make the point that playing offline is the same thing. You're getting the same exact thing as playing online, and that's not
I'm
true.
saying they're the same capabilities, which is what you were quoted saying,
Oh my goodness.
and they are the same capabilities. They're
Oh good lord.
literally they're the only difference is what you see as an end user and what you do as an end user and the interaction and the experience that you have as a user. You would like that experience,
So if
and
all
the
if
other
all
vice
the
versa.
if all the online networks just disappeared tomorrow, and there was like no more online games, and all the pre-existing online games, their online just ended, there'd be no difference, is what you're saying. Everything in the
No,
gaming
not
world
issue.
would continue going on like just the same. Nobody will even notice it's gone. That's what you're saying.
Same way nobody would notice that offline
Because
multiplayer and everything else,
because,
right?
huh?
It was going all right.
Yeah, you didn't answer the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and answer your trap question. Everybody would notice.
But
Not everybody,
how
because
would
not
they
everybody owns a console.
how would they if it's the exact same thing? Like you've
Because
been
they are
trying to
users
make this
and
whole
their in
time.
experience. If you were listening to me, compromise, not what technically happened, what happened to their experience.
Oh, so you're saying that there will be a change in experience?
Yes, I said like
Oh,
5 minutes ago. Did you
okay.
not pay attention?
So online multiplayer is a different experience than offline.
You're just not hearing what 5 minutes ago. You really are. I said
So
experience like 5 minutes ago, right?
did you?
You said capabilities. I said what you should be saying is your experience. I said that 5 minutes ago, Shokio. Come on, man.
Did you?
I know what you're trying to say, but you're screwing it up. Like you're trying to
I'm,
say
I'm,
that
I'm,
the
I'm really not.
capabilities
You're
are
over
the
here
same.
playing the word game and semantics and saying, well,
No, I'm not playing the word
technically,
game.
grass is orange too because if you look at the chlorophyll and under a microscope and all this kind of stuff. But
Hey, you said it ain't number two
okay.
black nerds, right? It should be
Everybody,
the norm, right?
everybody in the chat. Did you guys hear him say anything about? Oh no, no. Okay, he said he didn't hear it. Did anybody hear him say anything about experience or? Okay, yeah, I have 81 people
Yeah,
in here saying
5 minutes
that you
ago.
didn't say that.
Of course they didn't because they're in your chat.
No,
I
see,
bet you
no,
if
see,
I look.
what has happened here is that you
Well,
got
what has
caught.
happened is
You
you're
ended
going
up
to look.
agreeing, and so to save face, you try to make it seem like you said that earlier.
No, I'm
That's
fairly
pretty
sure
much
we
what's
can go
going on.
back and listen to this. And I said experience. And when you hear it, you'll
Okay,
deny that we
okay,
ever
you
had
know,
a conversation.
let's take that. Let's say you did say experience. Okay,
Yeah,
if
because I
you
did. It's okay.
okay, if you understood that that's what I was saying. If you understood that point, if you agreed that online is a different experience than offline, then why have you been arguing this whole time in the first place?
Because you don't know how to word it. I said from the beginning too.
So
Did you not hear me say that?
you're arguing me for over an hour because I didn't use one word. That's what you're telling
No,
me.
because you use multiple words and did not understand them. You use capabilities, and that's probably the wrong way to word it.
Capabilities lead to different experiences. It kind of goes hand in
No,
hand,
they
buddy.
don't. Especially if you're using the same
So
capability.
capabilities don't lead to different experiences. We have a lot of great quotes tonight, guys. This is great. This is great.
What leads to different experiences is how different technology is used.
So
That's
guys,
what leads to different.
all this new technology we've come up with this last century, it hasn't led to new experiences. It hasn't led to new
It
possibilities.
hasn't.
Us creating
It hasn't.
us create. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
No, that isn't what I'm saying. Because you're forcing.
Us creating
I was talking
rockets.
about.
That
So you
wasn't a
just
new
gonna talk about.
experience going outer space. And
Are
all
you
that
talking to
stuff.
me or are you talking to the chat?
I'm talking to the
That's what it
chat.
sounds like to me.
I'm talking to the
You
chat.
might want to stop talking to the chat because you're having a debate with me and you're looking real bad because you're trying to run away from
I'm
the
really
argument.
not. You just told me
You really are, because I was specifically talking about the capabilities of playing serially and parallel on the Ethernet. I specifically mentioned that. That's all I was
you
talking
also
about.
just told me 20 seconds ago that capabilities do not lead to different experiences.
Those capabilities don't lead different experiences because they are the same capability. And the only experience
that again?
The only experience that will be different will be how you interpret it.
Interpretation.
Yes. My experience would suck if I wanted it to on offline multiplayer. My experience could suck if I wanted to multiplayer, but they both use the same capability, which is the same serial connection that is interpreted either way.
Perception.
So it's all about how you perceive it. Steve's the Wii U, the weakest thing ever, but it's the only console with the newest wireless technology. But they're behind the times. I mean, there's a million ways to look at it. It's all about perception.
It's not about perception.
The PS4 is the most powerful hardware, but it has less interops, or it has less IOPS per clock than a lot of stuff out there, because it uses a tablet CPU.
Okay.
But we're talking about power. Like it's all about the perception.
That doesn't change. No. That's irrelevant. You keep saying irrelevant things.
How is that irrelevant?
Because
it's exactly what I was talking about.
Because what you just said doesn't change the fact that the PS4 is the most powerful console.
Is it?
It doesn't change the fact that it is.
Is it? We don't know that. I just sat there and talked to you.
Now we don't know if the PS4 is the most powerful console out of the PS4, Wii U, and Xbox One.
We don't.
We got
number one. What do you mean by
grand spanking quote?
No, what do you mean by powerful?
It has the more powerful hardware. It has the more capable hardware.
I would be reasonably bearing that the Xbox One has more powerful hardware because it draws the most power. So what do you mean by most powerful?
Wait. Did you just?
You got to be real little.
Did you just imply that a higher power draw automatically means a more powerful system?
Did you just imply that more powerful means more powerful? What do you mean by powerful? You never told me what it was.
Did I mean more powerful implies more powerful? Are you hearing yourself?
You tell me. Did you not hear what I said? Did you not hear my question?
I heard you loud and clear. You asked me, did I say a word that meant the same word? That's what you just asked me.
No, I asked you, what do you mean by powerful? That is exactly what I meant. So
what your exact words was. Did you mean by powerful? You were implying that it was more powerful. That's exactly what you said.
No, answer the question.
Yes.
What do you mean by powerful? What do you mean by more powerful?
It has the stronger, more capable hardware.
What do you mean by strong and more capable?
Oh my!
More capable of what?
More capable.
I'm more goodness. Oh my goodness! You tell me.
More capable of running games in a higher end, better looking games. Better running games.
Better running games doing what? In a higher
Oh my god, this is just gonna be an endless cycle. And then it's gonna be see, now you said the color green. Now pears are also green and they're also fruit. So you can say that the PS4 is a fruit. See, it's all about perception. That's exactly what you're gonna do. That's exactly what you're gonna do.
No, this is factual. So you tell me exactly what you're talking about. You said it's powerful, and I want you to tell me. Exactly how do you know that?
I've read up on it. Engineers have confirmed it.
You read up on it from who?
Engineers.
What engineers?
Engineers, people who have cracked up engineers in the industry, engineers who work on games on these consoles.
Like who?
Like these third-party developers? Can we stop like acting stupid? Can we stop?
Ooh, no. Tell me who.
Oh my good Lord Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Jesus.
Let's not just assume stuff. Let's be objective.
Do you want me to go get links to developers talking about the PS4 is more capable? Like, I really need to do that?
I want you to tell me exactly how you formed the opinion that you have.
I just told you.
By reading around? That's what you did?
By hearing what people who work with both hardwares extensively have said and confirmed.
Do you understand what they said? Did they explain in detail why they said what they said?
Some of them, yeah.
Did they? So give me an example.
Things such as the Xbox One is a lot of its RAM is dedicated to a lot of the CPU and the background tasks and the OS. On the Xbox One, as to where more of the RAM is accessible to game usage on the PS4. Things such as the PS4's GPU has a higher flop performance. Things of that nature. Things like the PS4's cores aren't used up as much for the CPU and background functions like the Xbox One's is.
What are you reading right now?
I'm not reading anything. This is
What
what
are you,
people
what are
have
you
been
talking about?
saying since the launch of the PS4.
What? You said engineers. Give me an example of an engineer and tell me exactly what they said and how you interpret it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
No, not oh my goodness.
I
This
see you.
this
I
should
see you. I see you want links. I'll get you links, bro.
this this is common knowledge that's accepted by everybody.
I'll
So
get
if
you
it's so
links.
common, it should be easy to explain. It should be fairly easy to explain.
I just
So
explained. I just told you about the specific hardware parts and how they
okay,
have more power readily available toward games than the Xbox One
name
does.
one and give me
I
details.
named you
Name
three.
then name me one of the three again.
I named RAM. I named the GPU, and I named the CPU
What about the
cores.
RAM? Okay, so you said RAM. What about the RAM?
There's
What
more
about it?
RAM in the PS4 accessible to games than in the
So
Xbox
does
One.
more mean anything in
Not
particular?
single handedly. That's why I listed multiple things. Can you stop? Stop.
No, I
You're
can't.
not
No,
slick. Stop. You're not slick.
we can go down all of them
Who do
if
you
you
think
want.
you?
We can go down all of them if you want. What do you mean by RAM? What about it? Just more.
I already said you're asking me to repeat myself. Is what you're literally doing. I'm not gonna repeat
No.
myself. I just took a time out and just explained the RAM, the CPU,
Uh,
and the GPU. If you didn't listen, I'm sorry, but I did just explain all that. I have
what does
89
all that
witnesses
mean?
to that.
What does that mean to you? How do you understand all?
It's not about what it means to me. It's about what exists
It
and what
should
is
be
fact and what
because
is factual.
how
The
is it
games,
factual?
the games speak for themselves.
What games?
A lot multiplats
What multiplats? So
and the exclusives.
highly unoptimized games that were designed for PCs before they ever saw these consoles. That determines what that lets you know what the power of a dedicated platform is. Really?
Not every single
Shouldn't it
one,
be
but
first
when you
party?
have a trend
Shouldn't
of
it be first party content?
when you have a
Just saying.
trend. Okay, first off, I said multiplayer and first party, but you were talking over me. But
You,
when you
you
have a
know the
trend of multiplats coming out, and the majority
so
of
that just
them
means the hardware.
look and run better on the PS4,
Couldn't
that
that
pretty
just
much
mean
means
that the PS4 has a better SDK or a better API? Couldn't it just
my, you mean to tell me that people are having trouble with Microsoft's API with DirectX?
are you going to tell me
With
it isn't a
DirectX, you
possibility
mean to
that
tell me developers are having more trouble with DirectX, the most familiar API out there, than with the PS4s? Like really?
I would tell you that some developers have had issues with some parts of the Xbox One. They've gone on record today that they don't understand certain parts
It's
of
not
it.
the API.
Now, are
It's
you
stuff like the
are you
eSRAM and stuff like
how
that. Oh, and
and how do you know
I
it's
love
not the
how you
API?
can quote developers, and
How do you
I
know it's
can't
not?
look
How
into
do
the
you know
next
it's API? How do you know it's not the API?
because the API is DirectX.
The API is DirectX, but what's
Yes,
the API for the PlayStation 4?
it's a DirectX equivalent. It's a open
It's
GL.
OpenGL.
Was it four
It's OpenGL. So it's completely different from DirectX.
4.1?
OpenGL, yes, but it is completely
Yeah.
different from DirectX. Completely different, not even close.
Okay.
So, is there not a possibility that it could just been a little bit easier for them to work with? That's not a possibility, simply because DirectX and everybody knows
No,
DirectX.
no, it's not a possibility. Not this
So you're
far in
saying
the
it's not a
game. Not
possibility.
when we have so many examples of these multiplats consistently being better on the PS4. If
So,
if what you're
so better
saying
software.
if what you're saying
Now,
is true, if there is a possibility that the Xbox One is stronger than the PS4, it would have been shown by now
and why do you say that?
because it doesn't take this long. And there
You
is, and
sure about
not
that?
to mention, there isn't a single developer out there saying that the Xbox One is stronger than the PS4
First
or
of
more
all, most
capable
developers don't
than the
say anything.
PS4.
Let's get that out of the way first. Most developers don't say anything. Half of the quotes that you've heard were from publishers. They were from the director of whoever the studio. The developer is coding. They don't have time to talk. Let's be real. Come on, Shokio.
So okay, so you mean to tell me that being
I mean to tell you
the head
exactly what I just.
honcho at a company, they don't talk to their software, and API engineers, and all that stuff.
I know this.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
Mm-hmm.
saying. I'm just saying that because they don't get their hands into the actual system, that doesn't mean that they don't know what they're talking about. They get informed by their team. They know what's going on. They know what's up.
They have a general idea, but does that mean that they don't know what they're talking about when they're under the gun, or they may say something, or they may mistranslate something? Is that not a possibility at all during the press?
Mark,
Is it never a possibility?
I'm
Never.
not saying it's never a possibility. I'm saying
So it is a possibility,
no.
right?
It's stupid to assume that that's even happening when
It's
there's
stupid
no
to
evidence
assume.
there's no evidence to suggest otherwise.
There is evidence to suggest anything otherwise. It's a possibility. The
And then
possibility is for the PlayStation 4 to be the most powerful hardware, especially when people want it to be.
and
So they'll
then
take
listen.
any news they can get
The
and use that as
CEOs
fact.
haven't been the only ones. There have been the actual engineers who have came out and commented on these things. Mark Cerny talked a bunch about the PS4's hardware and stuff. He made the
I bet
goddamn
he
system.
did. He's Mark Cerny though, but who is he going to champion? Is he not going to champion?
He's going to champion
what he
the
designed?
box he made. Yeah,
Of course. Come on, man.
it wasn't.
Come on.
No, it wasn't Mark Cerny saying, "Hey guys, look, the PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One." It's him confirming the information, and then Microsoft engineers and other third-party engineers sell their information. So then we have it confirmations on both sides, put them together.
Of what information?
Boom, the PS4
What
one
information
is.
are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys.
You said confirming information in general. If you're gonna talk about it and talk about specifics,
Mark
talk about
Cerny,
exactly
Mark Cerny did a whole conference after the PS4 reveal talking about the PlayStation 4 hardware. Do you want to link to it, sir?
Yeah, he actually watched the video and he actually talked about.
Okay. So why you ask me what am I talking about when you watch the video?
You cut me off. You didn't let me finish talking.
Go ahead.
He actually talked about how they wish they would have went with eDRAM or eDRAM instead of GDDR5 for their memory solution.
Yeah, I remember that.
And for obvious reasons, because of latency. So they tried to overcompensate for the latency by having extremely high bandwidth. For a lot of developers, it works because they games their entire main code and then dump it and hope it all runs and they never have to load again. Yeah. So the question is, what happens when your game is bigger than that? So there's really no sources to talk about that because people have already invested where they're going to invest. And once you sign an NDA, you can't say anything bad about what you're programming for anyway. So they're not really going to talk about it, especially if they're actively in development. So the question is, all this information is quote unquote, even with all of it out there, do you know what all of it means? Do you know what it means in certain scenarios? Do you know what it means for a single threaded game, a quad threaded game, 64-bit code or 32-bit code, or 4-bit code, or any of them running 32-bit code? Which one?
Yes, I understand what that means. What is your point? Do you have a point, or are you just talking?
Yes, that's my point.
Because every single time I get to a point, you ask me a question, I answer. Then you ask me another question.
You want to know my point is?
Then you ask me another question, and then you get off into something else.
All those things that I just mentioned, are any of those known, and are any of those factual? Everything that all those different scenarios, all those different possibilities, 30, 32, 64-bit, how many threads in each game and stuff like that, is any of that stuff known right now?
Yeah.
By who and what game?
I'm talking about
is there a game running right now on the console? I don't think anybody's ever confirmed.
Is there a single thread game?
Is a 64-bit game right now, a game with a 6-bit word size.
64-bit. If I remember correctly, Killzone. Let me see. Pretty sure this is
so many things that we do not know.
Yeah, Killzone Shadowfall is 64-bit.
According to who? Tell me.
Guerrilla Games technical director Michael Vander Loo, whatever the last name is. There you go. Are you
You
done?
sent it? Did you send it?
I'm not done. Anyways, um, yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Uh, thanks for the talk, man. I appreciate it. For those of you, for anyone who misses it tomorrow, I'm most likely going to upload this right before I go to bed. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'll catch y'all later.